From the Bering Sea to our show, welcome Deadliest Catch captains Josh Harris and Jake Anderson.
You lost someone that I interviewed in the past, Phil Harris.
Right.
What did he do? On a shipwright, did he?
The Bering Sea has taken yet another captain. The waters are ruthless, claiming a life once more in a shocking tragedy during the Deadliest Catch. Jake Anderson and others braved these waters, battling not only waves but their own heartbreaking struggles. Addiction, loss, and the relentless cold haunt every step of their journey. And it's not just about catching crabs, it's about surviving each day, each storm. Let us not forget that the sea has no mercy, and the next tragedy might already be brewing. Tragedy, triumph, and the relentless Bering Sea. The story started back in the late 1950s when there weren't rules, formal licenses, or even a proper system for crab fishing in Alaska. It was a free-for-all, crab crawling over the beaches, just waiting to be caught. It was the perfect picture of untouched riches, the kind of fortune that pulls generations of dreamers into dangerous waters. Today, viewers see it all through the edited drama of Deadliest Catch, which has been around for over 20 years. What they might not see so clearly, however, is just how brutal, lonely, and full of heartbreak this life can be. The ocean took more than just men. It swallowed dreams, shattered families, and forged legends that still haunt the waves. Jake Anderson wasn't just battling waves. Off-screen, he faced struggles that would break most people. There were addictions, homelessness, and a string of personal tragedies that didn't seem to end. During season 5, he found out that his sister had passed away, and not long after that, his father went missing while he was still out on the sea. Eventually, his father's body was found in his truck, but that didn't bring closure, just more questions and pain.
I was moving forward, and I was a part of society again.
And the jacket don't make you a man. That's right.
And that's the thing about these captains. Even when they're putting up with impossible, cold, heart-wrenching losses follow them, dragging them down like anchors. These men aren't alone on the sea. Not really. When the cameras roll, it might look like each boat is fighting the ocean solo, but the reality is a bit different. A whole fleet of ships is out there, all trying to grab the best spots, catch the most crabs, and make sure that they don't fall behind. For Jake Anderson, the pressures were even greater. Aside from competing with others, he was battling his own demons. The stakes are always high. When you're out in the Bering Sea, you're not just trying to make a profit, you're trying to stay alive. And it's not just Jake. Joshua Warner, another face that appeared on Deadliest Catch, tried to leave his past behind when he joined the show. But reality TV has a way of catching up with you. Warner had been involved in bank robberies back in 2007 and 2009, and he couldn't stay hidden under the limelight. Eventually, in 2010, he was identified and arrested, ending up with a 9.5-year sentence. Fame might have shone a light on him, but it also brought all his shadows to the surface. If there's a captain who represents the soul of Deadliest Catch, it's Sig Hansen.
I trust too much. My partner just said, I have a lien on the boat. There's no way to buy it.
Sig was born to fish. He's been on boats since he was 14, learning everything he could from his family. By the time he was 24, he was already the captain of the Northwestern, leading his family to prominence in Alaskan waters. Sig's story has always been tied to the ocean, and even now, his daughter Mandy is keeping that legacy alive. She named her own daughter after the sea, proof of just how deep this connection runs. It's a hard life, though. Reality TV might make it look glamorous, but every captain on Deadliest Catch has seen his share of loss and danger. The truth is, for these fishermen, things aren't getting any easier. Climate changes, unpredictable storms, and warming waters are making their jobs riskier by the year. Even the crabs are feeling the impact. They're moving to deeper waters, and the fishermen have no choice but to follow them. It means going further out, away from the safety of shore, into more turbulent areas. The deeper you go, the more dangerous it gets, and the ocean is more than happy to remind them of that. It's easy to forget that these captains aren't alone in their fight against the sea. There's a whole crew behind each of them, not to mention the production teams that capture every grueling moment. The people filming Deadliest Catch are out there for weeks at a time, facing the same dangers as the fishermen they film. They might not be hauling in the catch, but they're right there alongside them, battling the same cold, wet conditions and putting their lives at risk. Sometimes they're even reshooting scenes to make sure everything looks perfect on camera, but the real danger can't be staged. It's there in every gust of wind and every crashing wave. But then there's also the side of the show that doesn't make it to the screen. The stage drama, the editing tricks, the reshoots. Every good story needs a villain, and sometimes the producers decide who that's going to be. The tension between crew members is amplified. Small conflicts are blown up, and suddenly what was just an ordinary day becomes TV gold. For viewers, it's entertainment. For the fishermen, it's life, messy, cold, and brutally honest. They don't have the luxury of a retake when a wave hits the deck unexpectedly or when a storm rolls in faster than they thought. This isn't just a job where you clock in and out. The dangers are so real that the fatality rate is nearly 80 times higher than in most other jobs. Before 2005, when the catch share system was adopted, crab fishing was a chaotic free-for-all. Boats would rush out in the middle of winter, risking everything for the biggest haul. Now, each boat has a quota, making things a bit safer, but that doesn't mean it's safe. There's always a risk, always that possibility that someone won't come back. More challenges lay ahead, testing everyone further.
Too young.
And it's a high-stress job, and a lot of us chain smoke, which isn't good.
The tragic farewell of Captain Phil Harris. Season 6 was a tragic reminder of that when Captain Phil Harris insisted that cameras kept rolling even after he suffered a stroke. He knew how serious it was but wanted his struggle to be documented, to show the reality of this life, even if it meant capturing his final moments. He passed away in an Alaskan hospital after a second brain bleed, and the whole world got a glimpse of just how cruel the sea could be, even to its most experienced captains. Then there was Nick McGlashan, a young fisherman who had been on boats since he was 13. Despite all that experience, Nick struggled with addiction, and it eventually claimed his life. He passed away from an overdose in a Nashville hotel, leaving behind friends, family, and a crew who loved him. Captain Bill, who was close to Nick, expressed his heartbreak, and it was clear that for the men of Deadliest Catch, these losses cut deeper than any wave. Fishing licenses might seem like a formality, but they're another aspect of the job that shows just how raw things are in this world. In Alaska, you can get a license for around $200, no special training needed. That might be fine for a reality show, but out on the water, experience is everything. Without it, a license isn't worth much more than the paper it's printed on. When the stakes are this high, a lack of knowledge can mean the difference between life and death. And even Sig Hansen, as seasoned as he is, isn't invincible. He suffered 2 heart attacks, the first while filming for the show in 2016 and another 3 years later. It was a reminder that the ocean isn't the only thing that can bring a man down. His daughter Mandy might be ready to take over, but Sig is still out there pushing his limits. For him, being out on the water is second nature, but these health scares are undeniable wake-up calls. Yet he's not ready to step away just yet. These men and women, the captains, the crew, the production team, are all tied to the ocean in a way that goes beyond a paycheck. They've seen the good, the bad, and the deadly. They've buried friends, faced down storms, and fought their own personal battles, all while the cameras rolled. Deadliest Catch might be a TV show, but for those who live it, it's a reality filled with sacrifices, losses, and moments that will never be forgotten. The harsh waters of the Bering Sea have witnessed countless tragedies over the years, and the stories keep unfolding. It's more than just a job for these fishermen. It's a legacy, a calling, and for some, a curse. The sea doesn't take kindly to mistakes. Each journey out there is a gamble with stakes higher than anything most of us could imagine. One mistake, one slip, one rogue wave, and it could all be over. The sea is merciless, and for those who dare to make a living from its depths, there is no guarantee of coming back. Captain Sig Hansen is a prime example of the cost the ocean demands. From a young age, the ocean was part of his identity. He learned from his father and grandfather, Norwegian immigrants, who had the dream of building a life off the Alaskan coast. Sig grew up on the decks of the fishing boats, surrounded by saltwater nets and the constant risk of danger. By his teenage years, he was already working alongside seasoned fishermen, learning what it meant to be responsible for a boat, a crew, and a catch. The Northwestern became more than just a vessel, it became a symbol of his family's hard work and resilience.
I just can't thank you enough for taking me back to the Northwestern. But
His daughter Mandy, now stepping up as a captain, understands this too. She was practically raised on the boat, learning every aspect of the family trade. Naming her own daughter after the sea was a tribute to everything their family has built, and also a reminder of the deep bond they share with the ocean. Yet, despite the deep ties and the legacy of the Hansen family, the dangers of the Bering Sea have always been lurking in the background. Every fishing trip, every storm, and every catch could be their last. The catch share system that came into effect in 2005 was supposed to bring some measure of safety, but for many fishermen, it was bittersweet. Sure, it slowed down the frantic pace of the crab season, allowing boats to operate more safely, but it also meant less work for some. The rush that once defined the crab fishing season, those chaotic days when hundreds of boats competed to bring in the biggest haul, was now replaced by quotas and regulations. The chaos that once put lives at risk also defined the culture, and while safety improved, something was lost in the process. For some, it meant fewer opportunities. For others, it was a welcome change that allowed them to see their families more often. The ocean, however, remains indifferent to any regulations put in place by people. The changing climate has had a profound impact on the Alaskan waters. Warmer temperatures have pushed crabs to migrate to deeper waters, forcing the fishermen to follow them into more treacherous areas. Deeper waters mean stronger currents, more unpredictable weather, and a longer distance from help if things go wrong. It's not just the fishermen who have to adapt. The entire industry is being pushed to its limits as the environment changes faster than anyone expected.
I remember that Opie season in 21 when you thought things couldn't get much worse.
The unpredictable weather is a constant threat. Storms that come out of nowhere can turn a routine fishing trip into a life or death situation. The Bering Sea is notorious for its violent tempests, and even the most experienced captains can be caught off guard. There are no second chances when a rogue wave crashes over the deck or when the boat gets caught in a sudden squall. The risks are always there, lurking just below the surface, ready to strike when least expected. What came next showed just how unforgiving the sea could be. The hard physical toll of crab fishing. Phil Harris knew those risks well. His decision to keep the cameras rolling during his final moments was not just about the show, it was about showing the world the reality of this life. The stroke that ultimately took his life was not the first health scare he faced, but it was the one that ended his journey. For many fans, it was a sobering reminder that Deadliest Catch is not just a show, it's a real glimpse into a life that most of us could never imagine enduring. The physical demands of crab fishing are brutal. The long hours, the freezing temperatures, and the constant stress take a toll on the body. Sleep is a luxury that few can afford during the crab season, and the physical exhaustion can quickly lead to mistakes. For the men and women out on the boats, every decision is critical. A wrong move on deck can result in serious injury or worse. The crew works as a team, relying on each other to stay safe, but even the best team can't prevent every accident. Addiction is another harsh reality for many of the fishermen. The stress, the danger, and the physical toll of the job lead some to look for an escape. Nick McGlashan's struggle with addiction was well known, and his was a tragic reminder of how difficult this life can be. Despite his experience and the love and support of his crew, the demons he faced ultimately claimed his life. His story is not unique. Many fishermen have faced similar struggles, and for some, the battle is ongoing. Elliot Neese is another captain whose life took a dark turn. His battles with addiction and legal troubles were well documented both on and off the show.
Boy, I was part of these guys. They just got back in crab fishing. They had a bunch of it and I was 16. I went in the bath.
Despite his efforts to turn things around, the challenges he faced were too great, and he found himself in legal trouble once again. His involvement in a drug trafficking operation led to his arrest, and he now faces years behind bars. It's a stark reminder that the challenges faced by these fishermen don't end when they leave the deck. The pressures of the job follow them into their personal lives, and the consequences can be devastating. The production team that films Deadliest Catch also faces significant risks. Spending weeks at a time on the boats, they endure the same brutal conditions as the fishermen. The cameras they use are often damaged or lost to the sea, and the footage they capture is a testament to their dedication. Filming the perfect shot in the middle of a storm is no easy task, and the production crew puts themselves in harm's way to bring the viewers at home a glimpse of what life is like on the Bering Sea. Their work is a crucial part of the show, but it comes at a cost. The bond formed between the production team and the fishermen is a result of shared experiences and the understanding that out there everyone is in it together. The stakes are high and the sea doesn't play favorites. The fishermen who appear on Deadliest Catch are well aware of the dangers they face every time they head out. But for them, it's more than just a job. It's a way of life. The risks, the losses, and the sacrifices are part of the deal, and they accept it because the sea is in their blood. It's a calling that few can understand, and even fewer can endure. The Bering Sea is a harsh mistress, and those who dare to challenge her do so, knowing full well what's at stake. The cameras capture the highs and the lows, the big hauls, the near misses, the moments of triumph, and the devastating losses. But behind every shot is a crew of people who have given everything to be there. They are not just reality TV stars. They are real people with real stories. And for them, the sea is not just a backdrop. It's a character in their lives, shaping every decision, every success, and every failure. By late November 2024, Discovery Channel hadn't officially said if Deadliest Catch was coming back for a 21st season in 2025. The 20th season wrapped up in October, and the fans are just waiting for any news. People are already whispering about seeing some of the crew and captains hanging around Dutch Harbor, Alaska, so there's a good chance they're filming again. The 20th season also came with a lot of fresh challenges, mainly because of a rare Super El Nino. This weather pattern made the winter storms even more brutal, adding a whole new level of risk to an already dangerous job. The regular captains, Sig Hansen, Keith Colburn, and Wild Bill Wachowski, were all back in action. But there were also some newcomers making waves, like Sophia Bob Nielsen and Jacob Hutchins. These new faces brought some fresh energy and new dynamics that kept things interesting. The Red King Crab comeback was a huge deal, especially since it had been off limits for 3 years. It felt like the early days again, with everyone racing to catch as much as they could. The stakes were higher and the competition was fierce.
They were worse than that. Holy crap, man. They got to bang ice just to get to the door ties, bang ice to bait the pot.
Fans got to see the captains push themselves and their crews to the limit, taking on the roughest conditions the Bering Sea had to offer. There's still no official word if Discovery Channel will bring Deadliest Catch back for a 21st season, but with the fan base as strong as ever and the cast still being active around Dutch Harbor, it seems pretty likely. The loyal viewers are holding on, hoping for an announcement soon. It's hard to imagine Discovery would end such a long-running favorite without giving it another go. After all, the story of these fishermen is far from over, and there are always more challenges out there on the Bering Sea. Did the Red King Crab's return save the show or just mask deeper problems? Share your thoughts, like, and subscribe for more. Leave a comment and keep the conversation going.